folks, thanks for tuning in to my YouTube channel. I appreciate you taking the time to tune in. Just wrapping up the weekend here, and I wanted to make a video to show off some books that I got recently in 2 different hauls, maybe 3. I think there was one that I got a single issue by itself, but some of these books were just books that I wanted to read, various miniseries and small sets like this one that you see here, a 6-issue miniseries from the 80s, Green Lantern, Emerald Dawn 2. Hal Jordan was always one of the guys from the DC universe that I always really liked. I read Emerald Dawn 1, and now I want to go ahead and read Emerald Dawn 2. I'm curious to see what this is about. Again, this is just a kind of reader's copy. I paid $10 for it. And some of the next few, as you can see, they're not in bag and board because the seller that sent them to me, I guess because they were in sets, he kind of shoved them all in one larger size bag, and I didn't get a chance to put these in fresh bags yet. So the next few are going to be unbagged. Another mini-series from the 80s. They seem to do a lot of these 4-issue mini-series. This one here is Iceman from the X-Men in his own 4-issue series. This is in pretty decent condition. Again, it was just something that I wanted to read. Iceman was always one of the characters from the X-Men that intrigued me. And so, again, this is just a 4-issue mini from the 80s revolving around Iceman for the most part. See some of the other gang in there. And Iceman and the End of Oblivion. And some, you see here 4 in a 4-issue limited series. Some of the, few of these I have here today to show off. Next one is also just like that, a 4-issue miniseries. This is X-Men and the Micronauts. This is a pretty crappy set. But again, I just wanted to read the story, and I think I paid maybe $2-3 for all 4 of these. So again, this is X-Men and the Micronauts number 1, number 2. Some of the drawing here, especially Colossus and the Nightcrawler there, kind of in the same vein as, the Colossus that we saw in the giant-sized X-Men from the 1970s. So this looks like a fun read, just something I picked up. Next one here is a part of a run that I'm trying to put together for Daredevil from 170-something to, I guess, the end of the 180s, a lot of Elektra. This is the Frank Miller run. I thought this was great, just very simple, Daredevil falling, and paid $1.04 for this, so I was happy to do that. It's, again, mediocre copy, maybe an 8.0, 8.5, but for $1, I'm not complaining again. This run I'm putting together, for the most part, is just some of the other ones are in good quality, and I plan on reading them, but some of them I've also contemplated submitting for CGC submission. This one here, the 186 Daredevil, I probably won't do that, though, because it wasn't too great. This one I just bought by itself. It's a SpiderMan special edition from, I believe it's 1992, and this is features pencils by Jim Craig. His Venom is, to me, always on point. I had seen something a while ago, also by Jim Craig, The Incredible Hulk versus Venom. This wasn't a new haul of mine, but I'm just kind of showing off Jim Craig's beautiful Venom pencils. And so when I saw another one, this, after having read the one against The Incredible Hulk, I was like, I gotta have it. This was a one-shot. It has a nice pull-out poster in the middle with Venom, Daredevil, and Spider-Man. And it's Venom on trial. He, just to give you a little bit of an overview, he's locked up in the Vault. Another great Venom read for Venom fans is a trade paperback called The Vault, where all the bad guys are in jail, kind of like Marvel's Arkham, I guess you could say. And it's in space. And here, he pretends that, well, I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's a good story. He pulls the wool over the people's eyes, and they release him, but then they find out that Venom really is still Venom, and you know how that goes. But very fun read, and I like this guy, Jim Craig, the way that he draws Venom. The next batch is more Spider-Man, another miniseries from the 90s. Spider-Man, the Lethal Foes of Spider-Man. I always enjoyed this stuff. Some of my favorite reading when I was younger was like Spider-Man and Revenge of the Sinister Six, the one that Eric Larson did, 6-issue series. Then there was another one, The Return of the Sinister Six in Spider-Man, also I believe by Eric Larson. But there was a Deadly Foes of Spider-Man 4 issues, so these were always fun. Uh, Again, just for my own reading enjoyment, got these probably like, I don't remember what the exact price was, but I think this was maybe like $8 for all four. And this was really cool. I love this cover. You see all of Spider-Man's his bad guys right there, in those eyes grilling him. And so yeah, these were always fun to read. Spider-Man fighting off the numbers always against him. Next one is also another 4-issue miniseries. This one from the 90s. It's a set of annuals, 64 pages. These were in really good condition. They look like they're unread. And I love this because it's like a miniseries. I could read 4. I'm done. I don't got to chase 20, 30, 40, 50 issues. 64 pages, a nice meaty read. And as you can see, there's, in addition to the story, Venom has his own little solo tales. So I definitely look forward to reading this. I got a week off for Christmas, and this is on my list. So this is, the first one was The Amazing Spider-Man Part 1. This one's The Spectacular Spider-Man Part 2. The Hero Killers Part 3, Web of Spider-Man. And then The Hero Killers Part 4 and The New Warriors. So definitely a cool pickup here. I think I got all of these, 64 pages each. They look like they're basically in mint condition for about $8, $9, I think it was. Next one here was under the Star Comics flagship that Marvel did in the 80s, which was geared towards a younger audience. I believe they had a Heathcliff comic. They did a Droids comic that I believe had pencils by John Romita. This one here is a story by Joe Duffy, and it has pencils by the great Steve Ditko in all 3 issues. And each issue is a standalone. You don't need to read them in sequence. And it's about Chuck Norris and his Karate Commandos. And because these were geared towards a younger readership, it's great because they actually have positive messages in them. It's showing them how to deal with certain problems. Some of the younger commandos who are being trained by Chuck Norris have issues. And in the third one here, which I just finished reading, this fellow Taibei, who's a sumo wrestler, tells stories on how he met Chuck Norris to some of these kids, and they all have like nice positive messages in it. So this is a great read. One, because it's I think has a nice positive storyline in all of them, and then also it's cool because it's got pencils by Steve Ditko. And third, Chuck Norris is the man, obviously. Next pickup here, I'm seeing a lot more of, I guess, with a Gambit movie coming down the pike. This is the first cameo appearance of Gambit. Also a 4-part miniseries, part 4 of 4. Also done in annual form like that Spider-Man one that I just showed you, 64 pages. And somewhere in here, I haven't gotten to it yet, it has the first cameo appearance of Gambit. And then, of course, we know that in the Uncanny X-Men, which I also just recently got. I'm going to grab real quick. This is going to be on my next CGC submission list. I plan on doing a video just on some of the books that I hope to submit in my next batch, but I don't think I have enough yet where I'll do a video. But this is, a beautiful book here, easily 9.4 or 9.6. So when I saw the cameo version, got this for $17, and it's in pretty good condition. I got to get the other 3 now because I don't want to just read this to know that somewhere in one small panel in the corner is Gambit. I'd like to actually read the story. So next on the list is to get part 1 through 3, which is probably cool because it'll be much less expensive than this one because this has a cameo appearance by Gambit in it. Next one here is Giant Size Spider-Man #1. This is, again, just a reader copy. Probably a 5.0 grade. You see here that it's got a little letter R written in pen. I think this is the 3rd appearance of the Punisher, and I just wanted to read this. I love the Punisher and I love Spider-Man, and so for $10, why not? This is a great Bronze Age book. Got Spider-Man all hemmed up on the fence, and I believe him and Punisher end up working together to solve whatever problems are in this particular issue. So look forward to reading this. Also on my list for the Christmas break that I got off. As we wind down here, I've just got a few more books to show. Next is another miniseries from the 80s by Marvel. 4-issue miniseries. Rocket Raccoon in his first own series. Of course, we know that he was in an issue with the Incredible Hulk. Truthfully, I forget what issue that is, but that's a hot book. And then also the Marvel magazine Santana, and I think that there's a cameo appearance somewhere in there. I read this story. This is great. The Killer Clowns, the Keystone Quadrant, Rocky Raccoon in his early days. And one of the main reasons why I got it was because they were all direct editions. All in pretty good shape, easily 9.0 or better. And so very happy about that. I got this for under $50, which is a steal because I've seen these 4 issues in good condition go for over $100. Are they CGC worthy? I think so. I don't see any creases in the spine. Pages seem to be white. So these might be CGC worthy. And this is issue number 4, wrapping up his miniseries. All by pencils by Mike Mignola, Hellboy Creator. Last set here is a high-grade set that I'm happy to get. I wasn't a big fan of Godzilla movies, but I'm curious to see what these Bronze Age books are about. I love Bronze Age books. Beautiful colors. These were high-grade copies. I got all 3 for $30, which I think is a steal. And I look forward to reading these. That's why this is actually probably the next one I'm going to get into. I haven't even sealed these bags yet. But these are great books with artwork by Herb Trimpe. This is issue number 2. And down here on the bottom, you can see Trimpe's signature. But these are all great high-grade bronze copies, so I'll have to be very careful when I read these. And, you know, I'm not sure if I'll grade these or not. I don't know. Probably not. But still happy to have them in high grade. This is some of the characters of the champions in it too, which should be a fun read, 1 through 3. And that's all I got today for you guys. I appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. Again, happy to get some of these books in my possession. Hope that you guys have a good holiday season as we start to approach that. We'll be making some more videos before the year comes to an end. One of my next videos coming up is going to be some of my favorite covers for 2015, books throughout the year that caught my attention, and I'll show those off in another video. Again, thank you for tuning in. Please follow me on Twitter. All that information will be coming up in a minute. And I also look forward to checking out your videos. I'm new to the YouTube community, but I have found some great channels out there that I enjoy listening to. AG Surfer, We Love Comics, Comic Order 410. Those channels are great, and I've been enjoying your videos. And I appreciate you guys, again, taking the time to watch mine. Take care.